MotorWeek '89, television's automotive magazine, with your host, John Davis.
Well, hello and welcome again to MotorWeek '89. We're glad to have you with us. What you're about to see is a first. As first in life go, it's not a very big one, but it is worth mentioning. We're going to test a car called a Swift Gti. It's the first car we've ever tested that bears the Suzuki name. It joins the Suzuki Samurai and Sidekick sport utility vehicles. But here's what makes the Suzuki story really interesting. The three-door Swift is one of the smallest cars you can buy, and Suzuki is trying to sell it at a time when most buyers aren't interested in small cars. But the Japanese company has a way to get around that problem. It's called getting back to basics. A cliche, of course, but it's a proven formula for success when the odds are against you. You can have the Swift Gti in any color you want, as long as it's black, white, or red. The base price is $89.95, $99.95 if you want an automatic transmission. The only option is air conditioning, which will cost you $620, and your local Suzuki dealer will even put it in for you. Sounds like simpler times, doesn't it? But let's not forget, this is a performance car. This little 1.3-liter four-cylinder produces an amazing 100 horsepower at 6,500 RPM. It does it with twin cam, 16 valves, and multi-point fuel injection. However, inside, there's little to tell you the GTI is anything more than an econo-box. The dash is a collection of modules bolted together, and these all seem to rub together and produce lots of squeaks. Gauges are Spartan, but we like the tone-coated faces. Gray for the bigger ones, black for the smaller. This treatment helps your eye to find what you need. The cloth-covered seats are simple, providing good back and side support, but limited support for upper legs. Adjustments are sparse but efficient, and seatbelts are manual. Controls are well laid out, and we were amazed by how many things there are to control, including dual power mirrors and a rear window defogger, things you don't even find as standard on much more expensive cars. But we'd trade the power mirrors for a more efficient heater control. Despite the gradations on the control face, the heater seemed to have only two settings, very hot and very cold. But the standard 4-speaker stereo helped us warm up to the car, and it drowned out the 71 decibels of interior noise the car generates at 55. We also appreciated the standard remote releases for the trunk and gas door. Other amenities include a console cup holder and additional console storage room. Interior plastics are not the finest, but they're a grade above what you'd find in bargain cars from Korea. As for the back seat, you can fit 2 adults here, but they'd better not be taller than 5 feet 8 inches. There is limited head and leg room. Fortunately, the rear seat splits and folds 50-50, so unused passenger room can be converted to storage room. Unfortunately, the seats don't go all the way flat. We're not sure whether people will be more concerned with practical or sporting uses of the GTI. After all, EPA fuel economy ratings of 29 city, 36 highway are very good considering all this car's power. Our test number was equally fine at 35 miles per gallon. As for fun numbers, our Swift went from 0 to 60 in 9 seconds. The quarter mile took 16.7 seconds and ended at 83 miles per hour. While a little shy of what we hoped for, the engine gets extra style points for its willing feel. As with many hot front-drive cars, torque steer is ever present, but it's not overwhelming. Shifter feel is fairly light. The action is smooth and the lever goes where it's told. Our biggest complaint is with the clutch. Effort is low to the point of lifelessness, and our car's clutch didn't want to grab when released. But the brakes grabbed nicely, with stopping distances averaging to 125 feet. It was very easy to hold the brakes at the threshold of a skid and thereby apply maximum braking power. We did experience some locking from the right rear wheel, but it was not enough to upset the car. To go with the 4-wheel disc brakes, the Swift also gets 4-wheel independent suspension, struts at all 4 corners. Highway ride has typical short wheelbase choppiness, but control on rough surfaces is good. On our smooth test track, the Swift GTI showed more excellent behavior. Its size makes it very maneuverable, and its non-assisted steering gives the driver a one-to-one feel with the road that so many cars these days are missing. Stability is good with mild front-end plow. The rear end can't be coaxed around at all, but that's a trait only the most demanding drivers will miss. The Swift might even handle better on more aggressive performance tires, but we were glad to have the standard mud and snow tires for an early spring snowstorm. In our safety check, the Swift passes with shoulder belts for rear seat passengers, but it fails to have front passive restraints or anti-lock brakes. For comparison, the Honda Civic Si cost about $1,000 more than the Suzuki Swift Gti, and it lacks the Swift's long list of standard equipment. The Honda has about the same acceleration as the Swift and takes a bit more fuel to do it, but the Honda has a more refined feel and more interior room. A comparably equipped Ford Escort GT would also cost about $1,000 more than the Suzuki. The Escort isn't as quick or nimble as the Swift, but it is more refined and also has more interior room. The Swift GTI list of hits includes its willing engine with good power, handling, and brakes. We also like its low price and high level of standard equipment. We don't like its either-or heat control and weak clutch action. Also, interior noise is high and there are too many dash squeaks. But if Suzuki follows the lead of other Japanese car firms, these weak points will be quickly corrected. And we applaud Suzuki for producing a car with so much bang for so little money. We doubt anything except another oil shortage will turn mainstream American taste to transportation this small or basic. But if the time comes, Suzuki will definitely be ready.